President Joseph R. Biden was in the Oval Office. So you see, it's the top story right there on Bing.
Again, by
President Biden was in the Oval Office signing some executive orders,
the Vice President, the new Secretary,
talking to the press.
That our hearts go out to the families of the FBI special agents, and
yeah, we're gonna
kill, 3 of whom
we're gonna talk about that story out of Sunshine, Florida, later on in the program. Holy shit! I believe 2 FBI agents are dead. We're gonna get the full details, get the rundown later on in the program. They were investigating a child sex trafficking ring. So, holy fuck! In Sunshine, Florida! What a weird name for a place. For something like that to occur. Irony?
were injured today in Florida. I was briefed in this tragedy earlier today, and I know the FBI is gathering information about how this happened, what happened, but I can only imagine how these families are feeling today. You know, one of the things when you are in a combat zone as a military, or you're a FBI agent or military or a police officer, every family just when they put that shield on and go out in the morning, dreads the possibility of a call, receiving that phone call. And my heart aches for the families. I've not had an opportunity, nor will I try today, to contact them, but they put their lives on the line, and it's a hell of a price to pay. And every single day, every one of these folks get up, and by and large, the vast majority of these men and women are decent, honorable people who put themselves on the line. We owe them. But the purpose of my asking you here today is I want to congratulate the new Secretary Mayorkas, who's going to take on an easy job, nothing to it, Homeland Security. And,
the easy job.
Looking forward to his leadership and working with Congress on a lot of issues, including the immigration bill that has, I think, great support in both chambers.
Maybe I was wrong when I said it'd be a while before we got
to strengthen immigration
Biden cracking jokes.
On the executive actions I took on day one to protect dreamers, and to end the Muslim ban, and to better manage our borders. And that's what these 3 different executive orders are about. And I want to make it clear, there's a lot of talk, with good reason, about the number of executive orders that I've signed.
Yeah, right-wingers have been going nuts about the number of executive orders he's been signing.
What I'm doing is taking on the issues that 99% of them, that the last president of the United States, issued executive orders I thought were very counterproductive to our security, counterproductive to who we are as a country, particularly in the area of immigration. This is about how America is safer, stronger, more prosperous when we have a fair, orderly, and humane legal immigration system.
So yeah, he has been really heavy-handed.
The first action today
on the executive orders
worked to undo the moral and national shame of the previous administration that literally, not figuratively, ripped children from the arms of their families, their mothers and fathers at the border, and with no plan, none whatsoever, to reunify the children who are still in custody and their parents. The second action,
ICE has been disobeying his orders
southern border,
and has still been deporting people.
The third order I'm going to be signing, orders a full review.
Once again, showing that ICE needs to be abolished.
Productive immigration policies, basically across the board. And so with that, I'm going to sign the first order, which is a reestablishment of the interagency task force and the reunification of families.
But if this is boring you right now, stay tuned. We got the spicy shit coming in just a second.
On a reputation for what these separations cause. That is the first order.
So we're about 2 weeks into this administration.
The second order I'm signing is creating a
They've been pretty bold.
regional framework to address the causes of
We're going to talk about the stimulus here in just a little bit.
Migration throughout the North and Central America, and to provide a safe and orderly processing of asylum seekers at the United States border.
Because that's the big push now. We saw the GOP leaders meeting with Biden last night.
And the third,
Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, the
Order
so-called
signing.
moderates.
is restoring the faith in our legal immigration system.
Biden has asked for $1.9 trillion. The GOP has countered with $600 billion. The Democrats are saying, no, we're going to go it alone. We don't need GOP support.
My grandfather would say the grace of God and the
But
goodwill of neighbors will reunite
there is
and reestablish
a senator by the name of Joe Manchin from the state of West Virginia. And to put pressure on Joe Manchin, Kamala Harris gave an exclusive interview to
Tonight we hear a lot
SAZ.
about economic help.
Shoot, yeah, I had to boost Biden up there. That about blew me away. I actually almost came this close to working for WSAZ. They're out of Huntington, Charleston, West Virginia. Kamala Harris goes to West Virginia, gives the biggest news station in West Virginia an exclusive interview in order to put pressure on Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin didn't like it. We're going to hear from him in just a second.
And recovery amid the pandemic. The question.
But this was last
where is the
Thursday.
action? Amanda joins us once again. And Amanda, you had a chance to actually ask that question to the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, today.
Tim, the burden for families right now is more than anyone could have imagined when the pandemic started. And it comes at a time when already vulnerable energy jobs like coal mining hang in the balance as the Biden administration looks to implement.
But this is a really catty move on the part of the administration. This is fucking bold.
Major issue, as you've touched on. Adding to that uncertainty, people in traditional energy jobs have concerns about the Biden administration's clean energy plan. People who work in coal especially have heard before that there will be jobs and programs to help them transition.
Yes, they've had smoke blown up their asses.
That this time will be different.
Well, first of all, let me say that the president has been very clear that this is not about any existing leases in terms of coal on and what we're doing in terms of oil and coal and federal lands. This is about what we need to do going forward to create more jobs. The president feels very strongly that when we are thinking about saving our environment, when you talk to him about climate change, the first thing that he talks about is job creation. And so it's job creation around investing in American manufacturing, job creation in terms of investing in.
And I'm sure that's exactly the way Joe Biden's old ass sees it.
Job creation around, for example, all
he don't give a shit about the moral imperative.
Workers who are in the coal industry and transferring those skills to what we need to do in terms of dealing with reclaiming abandoned landmines, what we need to do around plugging leaks from oil and gas wells, and transferring those important skills to the work that has yet to be done that needs to get done.
Work that many Americans would argue still needs done is some sort of financial relief for people struggling to make ends meet.
Here we're getting to the heart of the matter.
The COVID-19 pandemic drags on.
The president and I are really clear. We can't continue this way, and we've got to work with a sense of urgency. And so we're offering the American Rescue Plan that's about opening schools back up in a safe way. It's about getting support for small businesses, getting relief for families. So many people have been unemployed for almost a year at this point, hardworking folks.
What's up, 16
who have lost
tones?
their jobs through no fault of their own. And the president and I feel very strongly that these are the moments when we are facing a crisis of unbelievable proportion, that the American people deserve their leaders to step up and stand up for them.
The plan includes things like $1,400 check.
So Kamala goes to West Virginia to push for the $1.9 trillion plan that Manchin has said he doesn't want to do through reconciliation, that he wants to work with the Republicans. So this is Manchin earlier today. Winch, good evening. So Kamala goes to West Virginia to put the pressure on Manchin. This is Manchin's response to Kamala earlier today.
I thought it was very encouraging to see the president entertain his first meeting with 10 of my Republican colleagues and friends at the White House for almost 2 hours. That shows the respect that he has, the understanding of the process, and the understanding truly of the minority part it plays. We have to do things in a bipartisan way.
You hit the nail on the head. Let him go be a Republican. Do what Jim Justice did. Jim Justice, the governor of West Virginia, who switched parties from Democrat to Republican, has come out and said, you need to go big. He's putting pressure on Manchin. Apparently, Lisa Murkowski is interested in switching to the Democratic Party. So let Manchin go. Bring in Lisa Murkowski, who couldn't do any. I think Lisa Murkowski would actually be a win. I think she tends to vote better than Joe Manchin on bills.
So does this give you optimism then for a bipartisan COVID relief package, even though
I think a COVID relief package, we're going to be doing that, and it's going to start the process. Okay, we know the process is going to start. As long as it continues in a bipartisan, giving the minority, giving everybody a chance to improve the program, to make sure that the needs of our country, this horrible pandemic, the vaccines that are needed, protecting our children and families, and basically getting families through, because it's an extended period. We thought we'd be over it by now. We were told that by the previous administration.
Well, we could have been.
It's coming back with a flurry. So we got to make sure the resources are there, that the economy doesn't
Somewhat.
collapse, families don't collapse. And
Do you like the $600 billion top line better?
it's not whether I like anything better or worse. I know that I know we need a rigorous, vigorous and robust approach to this. I can't tell you where the right numbers are, but when you have a good bipartisan input, you can discuss and debate, that's when you get a good program. And we're committed, and we are committed, and everyone is committed that this reconciliation will be done.
Well, sir, you are the conservative, so you are the bipartisan consensus. You're the only one standing in the way of this bill at the moment.
Done in an open bipartisan way.
Has the White House apologized to you for sending the vice president?
There's no apologies needed. I mean, we're all in this. We understand that. It was a mistake. They made a mistake. It was, and we understand.
They did not make a mistake. They put pressure on you in the way they should have put pressure on you. That's exactly right. And it's sad because it didn't used to be that way. West Virginia used to be incredibly union. But when the Democrats let their union base slip away throughout the 70s and 80s, they lost that chunk of support. And what is now deep red fucking, like West Virginia used to be solid fucking blue. But it lost the support of labor. And also, there's not a lot of coal jobs left. There's not a lot of coal miners left.
We move on. You can't dwell on those things.
Would you support a budget resolution then that Speaker Pelosi and Senator Schumer just jointly filed yesterday?
And when you hear about
this process moves
coal, it's mainly to make a play for this motherfucker because they need him on board.
I've been very
There's
clear.
also not a lot of small family farmers. You're right.
That is the only way that we can get assured to get.
Most farming in this country is
Let's say we start
fucking
debating. I
corporate
understand the pitfalls
farms.
of debating. Sometimes the last one went 9 months before we broke the logjam in December, if you recall. Okay, we don't want this to go. We can't afford. So we'll go down this and have things in place, but it's going to be a bipartisan input. That's what we're committed to.
Do you, in terms of like the top line number, do you think
What's
that,
wrong? What now?
Do you think that the Biden administration should lower?
But this idea of bipartisanship is that he wants to work with the people that help facilitate attack on the Capitol.